This bill is insane. This legislature legalized hemp 6 years ago, but instead of regulating this booming industry in our state, we are now going backwards to the days of prohibition. This bill is not going to stop Texans from smoking weed or eating edibles just because a bunch of politicians in Austin tell them not to. Texans will still use THC, but instead of getting it safely from a local small business, they'll now get it from the black market, from the drug cartels. This ban is a gift to the cartels. We are now telling full-grown adults how to live their lives. This is the nanny state at its worst. This is big government at its worst.
This is James Talarico, a member of the Texas House of Representatives, speaking out on a bill that bans THC. Here's more.
I thought the Republican Party believed in limited government and personal responsibility. I thought the Republican Party believed in liberty and freedom. What gives us the right to tell an adult what to do on their own time? We are now about to throw Texans in jail for seeking relief that's safer than alcohol and less addictive than tobacco. Instead of fully funding schools, expanding access to health care, lowering costs of childcare, this legislature is focused on banning a product that gives people a little peace. Texans use THC to lessen anxiety. Seniors use it to manage chronic pain. Our veterans use it to treat PTSD. With this ban, we are now making people's lives harder.
Let's pause for a moment. According to CBS News, based in Texas, their local affiliate, it was a 95-44 vote. SB 3 passed in the House. It is banning all THC products. They write, adults would face up to a year in jail for possessing any THC product, adding, it's an $8 billion industry. This will hamper so many businesses in the state, likely because of lobbying that has been put forth by big tobacco and alcohol companies, where they say to, for example, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick in this hypothetical, hey, we're going to give you campaign donations, but you have to take out our business. And he is willfully doing so.
I want to leave you with a quote. It is time to end needless arrests and incarcerations of adults for small amounts of marijuana for personal use. That wasn't a Democrat. That was President Donald Trump. To my Republican colleagues, I'm asking you to oppose the cartels, stand with President Trump, and vote no on this insane bill.
Well done. For this member of the House of Representatives, it is business as usual.
You claimed, quote, schools have been provided litter boxes for students identifying as animals, end quote, when you introduced this bill. Is that correct?
When did I do that?
That's a direct quote from your press release announcing the bill.
Provided litter boxes?
I'll read it to you again. The quote is, schools have even provided litter boxes for students identifying as animals. Do you recognize that as being one of your quotes?
I'll take you for your word.
Okay. Can you name a school where it has been confirmed that students are using litter boxes?
Well, what we do with this bill is we prevent that from happening, but what we don't take out, and I know we've talked about some active shooter situations, and there's been talk that this bill will ban the litter box for active school situations, and they're called the go buckets.
Okay, and so I just want to ask the question again. Mm-hmm. Can you name a school where it has been confirmed that students are using litter boxes? This was at the top of your press release. This was mentioned when you introduced this bill, created quite a stir among public school educators across the state. And so I'm asking, can you name a school where it's been confirmed that there are litter boxes being provided to students?
For this purpose, no, I cannot on the litter box side.
For reference, the man you saw being grilled is Republican Representative Stan Gertz. He brought the Forbidden Unlawful Representation of Role-Playing in Education Act, also known as the Furries Act, which aims to ban non-human behaviors in public schools, including the use of litter boxes and wearing animal accessories. When questioned, he could not name a single example of this happening. Go figure.
Is there a separation of church and state in this country?
That's an interesting question that has been debated a great deal. Do you think that our forefathers...
I want to give you a chance to talk, but I also just want to make sure that I'm getting an answer to my question. Is there a separation of church and state in this country?
Did those that first Congress, that earliest Congress, when they authorized the production of a complete King James Bible, was that a separation of church and state?
I'm just asking
I
you
know.
a simple question.
I think that I think I've answered it.
Do you know who coined the term separation of
I
church
do.
and state? Who
Yes.
is that?
I believe it was Jefferson.
Thomas Jefferson.
Yes.
Yeah. Thomas Jefferson in that letter was referring to the First Amendment of the Constitution, the Establishment Clause and the Free Exercise Clause, which clearly create a separation of church and state.
I have some scholars here that can better answer your specific questions, and I am not that person.
Okay. We established that our founding fathers wanted a separation of church and state. But,
I did not establish that. I absolutely did
yes,
not establish that.
historical fact established
I
that.
disagree
But
with that.
do you think the Constitution is foundational to our country?
I do.
Why doesn't your bill mandate that the Constitution be posted in every
Well,
classroom?
if you want to carry that bill, you can. I'm carrying the bill that I chose to carry.
Yeah, and I'm not interested in micromanaging what posters are put up in classrooms, which is why I would never carry a bill like this.
After this debacle, SB 10, which of course is named SB 10, was sent back to the committee. It is part of a Christian nationalist playbook that James Talarico simply opposes. Take a look.
My granddad was a Baptist preacher. I've been a member of this church since I was 2 years old, and now I'm in seminary studying to become a minister myself. My faith means more to me than anything. But if I'm being very honest, sometimes I hesitate before telling someone I'm a Christian. There is a cancer on our religion. Until we confess the sin that is Christian nationalism and exorcise it from our churches, our religion can do a lot more damage than a six-pack of Lone Star. There is nothing Christian about Christian nationalism. It is the worship of power, social power, economic power, political power in the name of Christ. And it is a betrayal of Jesus of Nazareth. Jesus includes, Christian nationalism excludes. Jesus liberates, Christian nationalism controls. Jesus saves, Christian nationalism kills. Jesus started a universal movement based on mutual love. Christian nationalism is a sectarian movement based on mutual hate. Jesus came to transform the world. Christian nationalism is here to maintain the status quo. They have co-opted the Son of God. They've turned this humble rabbi into a gun-toting, gay-bashing, science-denying, money-loving, fear-mongering fascist. And it is incumbent upon all Christians to confront it and denounce it.
This is refreshing, to be honest, and not to be outdone.
Elon Musk is a Texas resident, so would he theoretically be eligible to apply for these funds?
Yes.
It was just announced that Elon has fathered his 14th child. I looked into this, 8 of them are under school age. So let's say he gets a voucher for each of those 8 children. That's over $80,000 a year in taxpayer funds, more than what most teachers make. And so if he sent them to a private school from pre-K to senior year, that's a total of $1.2 million in taxpayer funds for Elon Musk.
I mean, anyone's eligible. But
Mr.
I'll tell you
Chairman,
what-
you're the author of this bill.
Yeah, I
you
am.
could limit it to middle class and working class families if you wanted to, but you are allowing. I know Elon Musk is a somewhat humorous example, but wealthy parents, whether they're the richest man in the world or whether they're just a family making over $500,000 a year, they have access to this program.
In closing, kudos to him for holding the powerful accountable. If you can and are willing, please become a paid member here at TYT Sports. And or go to tyt.com/join. In addition, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate it. Have a great day.